Hi everyone and welcome to Supporting Learners. So the topic of today's video is cell shape and size, and this is the part 3 of chapter 8 of class 11th biology, that is cell, the unit of life. Now if we talk about the living organisms, for example human beings. Now the body of human beings is made up of many different types of cells. There are in fact trillions of cells in the human body. Now, do you think all these cells are of the same shape and same size, and do they perform the same functions? The answer is no. The cells differ greatly in size, shape and activities. And the shape of the cell may vary with the function they perform. So, shape is always related with the function. The shape of the cell depends upon the function that it performs. So the function of the cell, according to the function of the cell, it is shaped in that way. I will give you two examples for this. First is the cells that you see here are the red blood cells. These cells are the red blood cells. And these are round and biconcave in shape. These are round and biconcave. Now, why are they shaped in this way? Because of the function they perform. Now, what is the function of RBCs? The RBCs or the red blood cells, they transport the oxygen or they carry the oxygen from the lungs to the other tissues. This is one of their functions. So, in order to increase the surface area so that they can acquire more and more oxygen, that is why they are biconcave. Right? So, in order to maximize the surface area, to carry greater volume of oxygen. And why they are circular in shape, they are round or circular in shape, so that they can, any circular shape, it is easy for this to move or roll fast. If it was flat, so it is difficult to drag something that is flat, but if it is circular, it is easy to drag it, right? So they are very round, they are very tiny and they are very flexible, so that they can squeeze through the capillaries, because the blood flows in the capillaries and these cells are present in the blood, so that they can squeeze into very thin capillaries to deliver the oxygen. They are shaped in this way. Another example is of WBC. Now the cells that you see here is the WBC or the white blood cells. You must have heard that they are the soldiers of the body. And WBCs or the white blood cells, they are amoeboid in shape. Now why they are amoeboid in shape? And amoeba, they are in the shape of amoeba, and amoeba has no fixed shape. It does not have any fixed shape. It keeps on changing its shape. You can see here that this WBC is changing its shape in order to engulf this bacteria. In order to engulf this bacteria, it is changing its shape, and this process is called phagocytosis. This process is called phagocytosis, to engulf the bacteria, okay, to defend against the diseases and the various infections. So this is a function of RBC, and accordingly it is shaped like this. Now let us see the shape of some other cells. This is the diagram of NCERT book. Now first RBC, we have discussed that this is round and biconcave. Second, white blood cells also we discussed in the previous slide why they are amoeboid in shape. And third is the columnar epithelial cells. Columnar epithelial cells are long and narrow. Right. So why these epithelial cells are long and narrow? Because they perform the function of absorption and secretion. They perform the function of absorption and secretion. So you will find these type of cells, they are located in the stomach, right, which the stomach releases various acids and digestive enzymes. So these columnar cells, they are tall cells, they are more tall than they are wide. So these are very tall cells. In order to increase the surface area for the absorption, they are shaped in this way. The next type of cell is the nerve cell. Nerve cells are actually branched and long. Why they are branched and long? Because they perform the function of transmitting the information or the message in the form of electrical impulse from one part of the body to another. So they have to reach from one part of the body to another. So they have to be really long, right? And they are branched. Why they are branched? branch. Now they are branched so that the message can reach as fast as possible. And also if one way is damaged or it's not working properly, then the message can be transmitted from some other way. So they are branched in that way. The next type of cells are the tracheids. Now tracheids, they are the elongated cells in the xylem. Now xylem, you must have studied in junior classes that xylem is responsible to conduct or to transport water and minerals and hormones from roots to upper parts of the plant. So the function of the xylem is to transport water. So in order to transport the water and other minerals and hormones, they have to be elongated in shape. And the next type of cells are the mesophyll cells. They are round and oval. Their main function is to carry out the photosynthesis. So now you understand that the shape of the cell is actually related to the function that it performs. Now let's move on to the size of the cells. Now mycoplasma, the smallest cells are only 0.3 micrometer in length. So they are as small as 0.3 micrometer in length, and mycoplasma, actually they are the smallest free living bacteria. Smallest free living bacteria, right? Or they are the smallest prokaryotes, you can say. And these are the bacteria which actually lack cell wall. They lack cell wall, right? And bacteria could be 3 to 5 micrometer. This is the size range of the normal bacteria. And the largest isolated single cell is the egg of the ostrich. So this is the largest isolated single cell. This egg is a single cell actually. And among the multicellular organisms, human red blood cells are about 7 micrometer in diameter. So the diameter of RBCs is, in multicellular organisms, it is 7 micrometer. And nerve cells are the longest cells, and this the reason we have discussed. So summing up this whole slide, the smallest cell is mycoplasma, that is 0.3 micrometer in length. The largest cell, egg cell of the ostrich. Longest cell, nerve cell. Smallest cell in the male body is the sperm cell, right? And the longest cell is the neuron or the nerve cell. Now let us solve some questions in order to test our knowledge. Question number 1 says, what is the smallest cell? Pause the video and read the options and answer this question in the comment box. The smallest cell is, yes, B, mycoplasma, 0.3 micrometer in diameter. Question number 2, the unit of measurement used for expressing dimension, that is size of cell, is A, centimeter, B, micrometer, C, millimeter, and D, meters. So we have discussed that the unit is micrometer. So the answer is B, micrometer. Question 3, which of the following is not a cell? Not a cell. A, red blood corpuscle, that is RBC, B, bacterium, C, spermatozoa, and D, virus. So all these three, RBC, bacterium, and spermatozoa, yes, they are cells. But viruses are considered to be acellular or subcellular. Why? Because inside the body of the organism they are classified as living, but outside the body of the host they are actually inert. They cannot multiply or replicate outside the body of the host. So they are non-living that way. So viruses are thus not considered a cell. Question number 4. Cells that transmit the message between different parts of the body are A, lengthy nerve cells, B, long muscle cells, C, platelets, and D, red blood cells. So we have just discussed that nerve cells, they transmit the message. So the answer is A, lengthy nerve cells. Question number 5. Bacteria are also known as cytoplasmas, B, macroplasma, C, mycoplasma, and D, microplasma. So the answer is C, mycoplasma. And question number 6. Cells that function in pulling different parts of the body together are A, platelets, B. RBCs, C. lengthy nerve cells, and D. long muscle cells. So the answer is D. long muscle cells. Thank you for watching this video. If you find it useful, then hit the like button, share this video and subscribe to Supporting Learners, and also press the bell icon so that you get a notification whenever a new video is released on Supporting Learners.